id and Raven Software pick up where Quake 2 left off, with the fourth installment of their sci-fi military shooter series. With an epic update of the single-player story and the same multiplayer madness from Quake 3, Quake 4 is a solid first-person shooter that might not blow you away, but will definitely take you on a fun ride. Quake 4 continues the story of Quake 2, but players new to the series can still enjoy the single player without feeling left out. As the game opens, the big gun has been destroyed, and the Strogg leader has been defeated, but Strogg forces are still resilient. As Corporal Kane, part of the elite Rhino squad, you're ordered to launch a massive Strogg invasion to finish the job. About halfway through the game, your character is captured by the Strogg, and against your will, you're transformed into one of them. But before your mind is adjusted, your team rescues you. This means you'll have all the Strogg abilities, but you're fighting for the other side. While this adds a unique and surprising element to the story, it rarely affects the gameplay. You have a little extra health and defense, you can understand the Strogg language, and sneak past Strogg defenses, but that's about it. Quake 4 has tons of high-powered, action-packed combat, with alien cyborg enemies that can attack from any direction. You have a huge arsenal of marine and Strogg weapons to use, as well as tanks and mech walkers in certain areas. The vehicles are easy to control and do serious damage, but the areas you can use them in are brief and not very challenging. Your objectives while on foot keep evolving, but what you have to do is clearly outlined. As you make your way through Strogg territory, you meet up with other Marines who will fight alongside you. They come in handy, but in some of the smaller corridors they can get in the way. It's not necessary to keep them alive, but they do have reasonably intelligent AI, which means they can hold their own in battle. Medical officers can heal you, and tech experts upgrade your guns to give you more power, increased ammo capacity, and reduced loading time. But even though you can level them up, none of the weapons have a melee attack, which can make it tricky to fight back in close quarters. It's moments like this that make Quake 4 feel a lot like Doom 3, because it creates the same claustrophobic moments with destructible pieces of the environments that Strogg soldiers come crashing through without warning. But even though the enemy AI is extremely aggressive, their movements become predictable after a while. If you recognize which type of Strogg you're fighting, chances are you can get a sense of what they'll do next. Sometimes they'll just stand there and take your fire. If you're looking for more challenging AI, Quake 4 has multiplayer levels that feel very similar to the ones featured in Quake 3. Online gameplay is much faster than the single player, forcing you to do lots of running and jumping. While having more Quake 3 style multiplayer is a good thing, the areas feel the same as always, and there are no vehicles. Thanks to the same lighting and textures from the Doom 3 engine, Quake 4 is beautiful. From the dark corridors to the bright canyons, there's lots of eye-catching moments and interactive devices. The backdrops are stunning, and the vehicles explode into huge pieces of fiery metal. The level design is very linear, which helps you identify where you need to go, but also forces you to check each door to find the random one that opens. The multiplayer map design is fun, but too similar to Quake 3. It would have been nice to see more levels like the exterior environments from the single player. The character models look good, but their eyes and arms have a difficult time locking onto you when you move around. But the voice acting has lots of personality, and the dialogue is clever and informative. And it's fun to watch your men interact with the environment, like when they turn their flashlights on in dark areas and take cover under fire. What makes this single player entertaining are the spontaneous scripted events like Strogg attacking out of nowhere to alien ships crashing around you. But sometimes, these events can get predictable and repetitive, making parts of the game feel more like a theme park ride than an action adventure. Quake 4 is two great games in one, but neither of them stand out as anything that hasn't been done before. The multiplayer looks and feels too much like Quake 3, and the single player adds military vehicles and weapons to gameplay similar to Doom 3. But the engaging storyline, superb visuals, and high-powered weapons make Quake 4 an exciting trip from start to finish.